with Baruch Kuppermann, who is chair of the Department of Ophthalmology at UC California, Irvine. And I'm here basically just talk about Retina World Congress, but then also just Retina. So if we can just start by talking about this meeting and what makes it so unique and special.
Well, it's a wonderful meeting. Again, I have the honor of now being the incoming president of this Congress, so thank you. But what we like about it, it's meant to be really a podium for the world. Mm-hmm. So we really, even though it's held in the United States, we've had it at Fort Lauderdale because we like this site and the world seems to like this site. Yeah. We really emphasize an international flavor to this. It's still very strongly American. About half of the attendees are American, but half the attendees are from outside the United States. And the podium presentations are by the key opinion leaders from all over the world, which really gives us a different perspective. And I think that's what makes this meeting unique and so enjoyable, besides, of course, this wonderful location.
Yeah, I was going to say, the weather doesn't make it that bad either. So I guess with key opinion leaders from all over the world, are there some things in Retina that make you, more excited, things that you're hoping to see on the podium or things you're hoping to discuss with them further?
Well, amongst the things that really excite, well, first of all, on the podium, what we have here is we get to see surgical techniques from all over the world. And that's really where there's a level playing field. Yeah. We all learn from each other. When it comes to medical retina, a lot of the products come out of the United States, so the clinical trials are done there. So it tends to be biased toward the United States. And amongst those things, I think there's been a recent change at the FDA over the past, besides the retirement of Wiley Chambers, but before he retired, there was a change in a surrogate outcome measure that I think is going to make a huge difference. For treatments, new treatments of intermediate dry age-related macular degeneration, pre-GA, sort of our biggest unmet need, the challenge had been is that the FDA had always mandated we had to show 15 letters improvement, which seemed impossible. But interesting, thanks to Stealth Biotherapeutics, Retina McCarthy is the CEO, but Peter Kaiser, our dear friend, has been advisor to them. They worked with the FDA and negotiated by showing them data. If you look at the OCT and specifically the ellipsoid zone, there is a correlation between slowing down the rate of attenuation, thinning of the ellipsoid zone, and better vision outcomes. And that correlation became what's called a validated surrogate endpoint. Suddenly now, so the Stealth Biotherapeutics trial of their lamipretide, their subcutaneous injection for the treatment of non-central GA, that trial that's ongoing, will have that as an endpoint. So no longer do you need to have 15 letters gained. For example, you could show an outcome of decreased attenuation. And if you got 8 letters gained, you could say, not only do we meet our endpoint, but hallelujah, we got 8 letters gained. Whereas in the old days, 8 letters gained would be nice, but a failure because you needed 15. So that opens up the door to all these other companies because they now see a pathway to success. So I think we're going to see, because of that important change, other companies, not just Stealth Biotherapeutics who initiated it, but other companies that have potential products in this space in our biggest unmet need of dry AMD earlier, hopefully with durability, because we don't want to inject people monthly that are earlier, but hopefully we'll have new opportunities, new products coming out as a result of this important, a sea change really in how studies will be designed.
And I guess, does this kind of make you think of, well, what other imaging modalities or what other things should we be including in clinical trials? So it's not just CST, VA that we're looking at, but it's maybe some of these other biomarkers that are indicative of kind of this like early subtle disease process.
Well, I think there's a lot in that, and I think I agree with you completely. For example, Ursula Schmitter in Vienna is doing a lot of work looking at for example, which are the best patients to treat with the complement inhibitors, because yes, we see the data. Yes, it slows down overall the rate of progression of GA, but we saw that there was no difference in the two groups overall in vision. So how do I identify really the patients who are at greatest benefit? She's got some software she's working on, as are others. So I think we're going to see through our existing imaging tools, better software, AI, and partially evolved as well, to help us identify patients, both to enrich patient populations for clinical trials, to have endpoints, to know which patients are best to treat. I think that whole era, really just using what we have of OCT, but using software to analyze those images better, are also going to really change how we practice.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of a snippet and letting us know what you're interested about with Retina. Thank you guys for all tuning in. We'll see you soon for the next episode.
Thank you.
clinicianlink.ai